Stranger Things took millions of dollars and thousands of artists to make. Can I recreate a scene from Stranger Things alone with no budget? Let's find out. I want to recreate this scene, but there's a problem. How do you shoot at night? Cause if you've ever tried to take a photo at night, you know it sucks. So you shoot at day. It's called the day for night technique, and the way it works is that you bring down the exposure a lot in camera and then tint the footage towards blue in post. There's a lot more than that, but make sure to not shoot with the sunlight coming from the front or on a cloudy day, because it's the contrast between the light and dark that makes it look like night. Before picking up the camera and start shooting right away, it's really important to make a storyboard or previews where you have laid down all of the shots. I recorded myself on a green screen at the roof acting like a weirdo, then brought the footage inside DaVinci Resolve to remove the green screen, and that's when I realized, I couldn't shoot for another whole day because it was sunny as hell and it wasn't winter time either. So I worked for days trying to fix the issue, but still couldn't. Fortunately, it's not even that noticeable because of the dark background, so I left it as it is. Now inside Blender, which is my favorite 3D program, we can import the video as a mesh plane. You can even add some camera movement, and as long as it doesn't change the angle much, it holds up really well. Right now our scene is pretty empty, so I added a plane with a concrete texture to serve as our ground and an old house model from Blender Kit. I added the sunlight and changing the angle, intensity and the color to match with the footage. Added a large cylinder with the principal volume shader to add some fog, then I made some dead trees using the M-Tree add-on and scattered them around. Then I caught a cold and took a break for a few days. The trees look very lifeless right now. I mean, they are dead trees, but they are very still. So using an animated noise texture to drive the rotation of the trees will make it look like the trees are swaying in wind. I want to keep all the shots in a single blend file. We can select a camera, then press Ctrl B in the timeline to create a marker. When the playhead reaches that frame, it will switch to that camera. I have many of these mesh planes that only need to last during a certain shot. You can animate the render's visibility in the outliner but not the viewports. So I made this simple geometry node setup where I can enter the frames and it will appear and disappear automatically. Then I started adding more shots one by one, and it got so confusing and frustrating because I had no idea if the shots are gonna work in the final edit. But I think it's fine, it's part of the process, right? All of the shots up until now were static and the camera motion was added in Blender, but in this shot the camera is moving and tilting. So with the help of my siblings, we recorded this shot by placing markers on the green screen to be able to motion track the footage. The footage ended up being very shaky and poorly lit that it just wasn't working out. Instead, I used this footage where the camera is still and animated the camera tilting and moving inside Blender, and it works surprisingly well unless you make the camera angle very extreme. It's now time to create the shadow monster. But there's a problem. It's all made of smoke, and simulating smoke in Blender is very slow. Like really slow. But before that, we need to have something that emits the smoke. So I found this free shadow monster model on Sketchfab by Mark, which will serve as our base mesh. I animated the shadow monster rising and imported that into Embergen, which is a real-time fluid simulation software. I got it a few years ago back in the Black Friday sale, but haven't been able to use it much. So this is the perfect time to utilize it. With just a basic smoke setup, it looks pretty cool. Import that into Blender, and now we have the shadow monster. I wanna add some lightning strikes behind the shadow monster. Fortunately, I found these free lightning strikes videos on Action VFX, which I imported into Blender as mesh planes and scattered them around. It's cool, but it doesn't illuminate the surroundings well enough. If I increase the strength, then everything just blows up. So I added some area lights pointing at the shadow monster and animated them along the lightning strikes. I also added some VDB clouds in the sky, added some point lamps and animated them when the lightning strikes, so that it looks like the clouds are reacting to the lightning, which looks pretty cool. I added some rusty car models from Sketchfab by Renafox. The upside down is incomplete without these dusty floating particles. You can easily achieve something like this using a particle system in Blender, but I used the dust particles plus asset, which I already had, and tweaking the settings a lot until it feels right. Every shot from the upside down is filled with these vines. By adjusting the settings in the IVGen add-on that comes by default in Blender, we can easily create something very similar. Then I caught a cold again. This time I did not take a break. After tweaking so many things, it was finally time to start rendering. 5 minutes per frame? That means it's gonna take around 16 hours just for this shot. I started optimizing the scene and the render settings here and there and got it around 1 to 2 minutes per frame. It's still gonna take around 35 hours.
Wait. You can't come with me.
What? What do you...
This way leads to me. To my body. Not yours. You have to find your own way. Try and remember what it is that she means to you. She doesn't mean anything important.
After about 86 hours of work and 39 hours of rendering, here is the final result. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and hit the subscribe button for more videos. I'll be back.